I can continue. But anyway, obviously, it can't happen without a team of volunteers. So thank you, all the volunteers here today. My steering and planning committee, thank you. All of you. And of course, my collaborators and partners. I want to especially thank the New York Police Department Precinct 23. They are the best. They really, really are. They really, really take care of the silent procession. So I am grateful to them. I embrace all with gratitude for your continued support and commitment in raising awareness and educating all communities about Puerto Rico, its demands for equal treatment as USA citizens, as well as critical issues affecting the island's recovery and survival. This year we are repeating the theme, Resilient We Stand, since we were unable to march last year. 20 Puerto Rican flags have been added to the procession to convey our presence, our strength, and our resilience. Because after Hurricane Maria, 4 additional natural disasters was endured by Puerto Rico. And of course, the COVID-19 has made it even more difficult for Puerto Rico to continue in its struggle for survival and recovery. I'm so proud to introduce the newly appointed Lieutenant Governor Brian Benjamin.
Yeah.
First of all, let's all have some prayers for our sister Diana Ayala, one of the hardest working councilwomen in the city, bar none. I also want to give a big shout out to Carmen Cruz. Let's give her a round of applause for sticking to an important issue and never letting go. Thank you so much for having us here. Let me just say briefly, before being Lieutenant Governor, I was the state senator representing Harlem, East Harlem, and the Upper West Side. And let me just say, yeah, if you want to clap for that, you can. That's interesting. But one of the most important topics that has always been in my mind is respect for communities of color. And 4 years ago, we watched the federal government disrespect Puerto Ricans on the mainland and Puerto Ricans here. But fortunately, New York State stepped up. And the reason why I wanted to be here to say on behalf of Governor Kathy Hochul, this administration will continue to step up for the brothers and sisters of the island of Puerto Rico. Whether that is dealing with events like hurricanes, or whether it's dealing with important issues that we've talked about earlier about the future of the island of Puerto Rico. We are arm in arm with you, because New York State would not be the state it is if it was not for our brothers and sisters of Puerto Rican descent who have helped to make New York State one of the most diverse and best states in the Union. So it is only fitting that we are respectful and thoughtful and mindful of the issues that are happening on the island itself. So with that, I look forward to this silent procession. I look forward to being here every year as long as my legs can carry me. And I am very excited that we have, well, the Democratic nominee to be the next Mayor of the City of New York, Eric Adams, here. Because what it tells you is that the city and the state will be working hand in hand collaboratively to make sure that Puerto Rico is always taken care of and is always top of mind as long as we are here in the state of New York. Thank you very much.
Amen.
So there aren't enough words to express the gratitude for the support, commitment, and partnership since 2019 that our next speaker has extended to the Silent Procession.
So true.
With much love, I introduce to you Brooklyn Borough President Eric L. Adams, our next mayor.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Before I was the nominee, I was a common fan. You know, this sister, when she called me and talked about how we had to deal with the issue of Puerto Rico, just her level of commitment and dedication on the ground was just so significant. And I remember the first time you did this march, and people were pushing back and telling you not to do it. And you were steadfast and you were committed to getting it done. And I was so proud to march with you that day. And I believe it's your niece who is just all over the place, just holding it down. But you know, when we talk about Puerto Rico and the needs of Puerto Rico, oftentimes we have that conversation from an elevated place instead of dealing with the people who are on the ground and understand the issue and on the granular level. Trust me, when I talk about how we can help as a city, my conversation is going to be on the ground. Some of you major leaders who have been part of this fight for so long, and your historical connection, we need to have those real relationships. And we talk about often the buildings, the collapse of the buildings, the impact of the hurricane on the physical structure. But many people ignored what Carmen just really enlightened me on is the collapse of the young people who dealt with mental health illnesses and mental health issues after the hurricane hit the country and the island, I should say. And so that is the type of understanding we must have. And so I joined my good friend, the Lieutenant Governor, in stating that we are joint at the hip on this. I am so committed to doing whatever is within our scope and our span to help Puerto Rico finally turn the corner. We have a real battle with real needs, and we have to be specific on those needs in order to accomplish what we want. So I want to just thank you.
We have some visitors from Puerto Rico, and we have the Honorable Rafael Hernandez Montañez, and I'm going to have him come up and say a few words. You know, I did not know about him until a couple of days ago, or yesterday actually, and I just want all of you to know that he is one of the few people in the House of Representatives that supports self-determination for Puerto Rico. Thank you so much.
Carmen, thank you in the name of all the people of Puerto Rico and the elected officials of the House of Representatives. First, I want to formally thank all the community and Hispanic community of New York and the mayor and all the administration has been supporting the island of those crises that I have and we have suffered in the last 10 years, especially the last 5. The fiscal crisis, Hurricane Maria, Irma, and the earthquakes in the south. You have been there for us, and we are here for you. You can count with the people of Puerto Rico. Thank you for everything.
El espíritu del país. Su gente está presente.
Thank you for being here today. We would like to express our deepest gratitude to all who contributed and brought their supportive energy to NYC4PR's Silent March for Puerto Rico. Our gratitude goes to Carmen Cruz for taking precious time and energy to inspire and motivate our community to unite. Thank you, Eric Adams, the Borough President of Brooklyn and future Mayor of New York City, for joining us this morning, supporting our efforts to bring awareness to the plight of our beloved Puerto Rico and the Puerto Rican diaspora. One of the things that we are going to need from our conscious politicians is to remove this statue uplifting a genocidal pillager. On September 20th, 2017, Hurricane Maria swept through the Caribbean, killing thousands and maiming the islands of Puerto Rico. And the United States' response was abysmal. Since then, the colonizers' politic and lack of humanitarian aid continue to offer our people little more than gentrification and false promises. My name is Johnny Rose. I'm a New Yorker poet from the Bronx and El Barrio, by way of Rincón, Vega Baja, San Lorenzo, y Sabana Grande. Puerto Rico presente. In the beginning of 1492, our ancestors still stood in their truth. They still knew what and who they were, knew what their own ancestors had known. Countless generations of Taino, Central and West Africans had not yet met those who would bring them to their knees, strip them of their religion, tongue, and spirit. All power relinquished, the trails to our culture and ancestral past, all but extinguished. Knowledge is power, and we know things. We know things that they do not know, and they do not know what we know, so they fear what we tell them. Our DNA holds the pain of the poison their ancestors poured on our throats. Every rock they stand on was chiseled masterfully by our mothers and fathers millennia past. They have long feared the truth, and the world is standing on their backs, demanding they pay back, tired of retreating from their attack. It is time to let go because we refuse to live in lack. Let there be a reckoning for those who scourge the planet round, discovering new ways to oppress the people who love the earth most as she loves them. Conquistador skin, I wonder at your origin. Colonized Boricua blood, African spirit, Taína soul. Sometimes I wonder if our existential pain is because we do not understand our ancestors' voices when they advise, speaking soul to soul, suffering as we listen and speak in the master's tongue. Spanish and English, overpowering the sound of the Yoruba and Taino lullabies and spirituals, so we listen to the drum. tears, mourning those past, grateful for those who are here.